Hello, YouTube and X. It's your main man, BTM here, bringing you back to the BTM Crypto News Network. So, thanks for joining and happy Friday. And XRP is moving again. Here's what you need to know. Something interesting is happening with XRP today. After a quiet period in the market, XRP starting to move again. And when XRP begins to gain momentum, the entire crypto community starts paying attention. So the big questions are, what's causing the move? Is this beginning of a larger rally? And what should the XRP holders be watching next? Let's break it down. And again, happy Friday. Uh Friday the 13th, and getting ready for St. Patrick's Day. Welcome back to the channel. If you follow XRP and crypto news and market trends, you're in the right place. Today, we're taking a look at why XRP is moving again and what can happen next. Over the last day, XRP shown a renewed price momentum. This comes as a broader crypto market seeing increased activity, with traders closely watching key resistance. Price movement looks like this often when the market sentiment improves. Of course, things are going good. Um, I guess people are seeing the market go up with the price of oil changing. So I guess the folks that invested in oil got a couple dollars to pull back in crypto. They're talking about making strides with the, what is that, the Save America Voting Right Act or whatever, and some executive orders to push crypto. Traders anticipate new news or liquidity begins flowing back into altcoins. And we'll look at that in a minute. Looks like the Bitcoin dominance is pulling away again. So people are looking back at crypto. But either way it goes, money's flowing back. And I guess people got paid today. So they had a couple bucks to invest back in the market. That reminds me, I need to check that as well. But let's start the screen share and see what we can see. So this is Caleb and Brown. Caleb and Brown is a crypto brokerage that gives you 24/7 human support and expert person on the team that talks to you, kind of guides you through the crypto market. So if you're new to the crypto market and you need some help to get in the market and how to invest, you can start with Caleb and Brown. So you don't have to self custody. You don't have to remember your passwords. You don't have to worry about passwords and key phrases and keys. They do self custody the crypto for you, and they give you a one on one broker. And also, they're partnering with the crypto exchange. So it definitely be helpful if you're new to crypto. And I just realized there was a message there. Let me check that. But shout out to Caleb and Brown. And Caleb and Brown will also be at the Bitcoin Vegas conference. And from what I can tell, the conference is still on. I have not seen or heard anything where the market tripping, where the conference has been canceled or postponed. So from what I can tell, the conference is still on. I did see where the uh, crypto conference in Dubai has been postponed. So we'll have to see and check it out later. Another factor many investors are watching is institutional interest. The company closely tied to XRP ecosystem Ripple Labs. Ripple continues to expand payment technologies globally, working with financial institutions to improve cross-border payments, developments in areas that can influence how investors view XRP long-term potential. So let's look at the bubbles and then we'll look at some news articles as well. See here, the Trump token is up 35.8%. I'm not sure what's going on. I guess they're having a meeting in Mar-a-Lago and people are meeting with Trump. So I guess they're investing in the token. It's up 20.5 on the week, up 18.2 on the month, down 63.8 on the year, down 1.4 on the hour to $3.79. Algorand's up 5.7, Qual's up 1.4, Filecoin's up 1.5, Nero is up 2.5, Safe is up 3.2, Jupiter's up 2.1, Cubic's up 1.5, Avalanche is up 2.2, Zcash is up 1.5, Ethereum Classic is up 3.8, Flare is up 0.7, AI OZ's up 0.9, HBAR is up 2% on the day, down 0.6 on the hour. XDC's up 1.3, Cardano is up 2.2, Render is up 14.8 on the day, 1.6 on the hour. 34.9 on the week, 43.3 on the month, and still down 39% on the year to $1.83. Make a note, might have to check on Render later, actually. Get my trusty, where's the trusty? I got too much stuff on my desk. But check on Render later at $1.83. So keep an eye on that guy. Gala's up 4.9 on the day, down 0.7 on the hour at the 0035. Metals up 3.4. Binance is up 1.4. Radium's up 2.4. Quant is up 2.4. Litecoin's up 2.1. Bear's up 5.4. Canton Network. Let me check back with those guys, actually. Up 2.9 on the day to 15 cents. Up 0.1 on the hour. XLM is up 2.3 at 16 cents. And there goes the camera again. I don't know what's going on with the freaking camera. At 16 cents. Let's see here. Now I got to keep the camera box up for some weird reason. Data's up 1.5. Bitcoin Classic's up 1.9. BGB is up 0.6. There we go. And for some reason, when it comes back, it never puts the. There we go. Okay, so we doing it right today on Friday the 13th. I don't understand what's going on, but that works for me. Stronghold is up 0.7 on the hour at the 005. So might check out Stronghold as well today. Where is that? Dang it, I just saw it. Oh yeah. Ondo's up 3.2. World Liberty Financial is up 2.6. Solana is up 3.2 of the day to $88.96. Up 3.8 on the week. Cron's up 1.8. Monero's up 1.4. Ordinar's up 2.4. Flux is up 0.7. Atoms is up 1.8. Cosmos FET is up 9%. Arbitron's up 4.2. World Mobile Token is up 5.3 on the day, 28.5 on the week. World Mobile Token's finally woken up. To 8 cents. Let me see. 0.8. PIF is down, up 4.2. BitTensor Tau is back up to 232 at 9.5% on the day. So it's looking pretty good. SQD's up 5.3. Dash is up 0.5. Hyperliquid is down 1.1. So let's look at the big boys. Bitcoin is, wow, up 71,246. It was up to 73,000, up 1.7 on the day, down 0.3 on the hour, up 4.2 on the week, up 5.2 on the month, down 14.2 on the year. Ethereum is up 2.6 on the day, down 0.4 on the hour, up 5.8 on the week, down up 7.6 on the month, up 11.5 on the year to 2,105. So back over that 2,000 mark. And of course, our favorite cross-border processor is at $1.39. It was up to $1.45 earlier, came back down. It is up 1.7 on the day, up 2.6 on the week, up 1.2 on the month, and down 37% on the year, unchanged on the hour. But looks like it had a rally. Looks like the crypto is pulling back. I think the president has a announcement or some kind of meeting today at 2 p.m., which is earlier. It's 1:39 Central Time. So that meeting must have happened. This is, who is this? Alton. I think he had some price prediction.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Let's see what he's talking about real quick. Then we'll go over to X.
Talk about XRP. We're going to talk about crypto. We're going to talk about everything going on. You can tell I'm at the airport. I am traveling to Charleston, South Carolina. Anybody in Charleston? My son is playing in a lacrosse tournament, and my wife and I are going with him, and we're going to have a beach house. It's going to be kind of cool. Kind of making a spring break vacation out of it. So let's talk about what's going on with XRP. Up 4+%. Bitcoin touching 73,000. The overall crypto market up about 5+%. Stocks are doing really, really well. We had a PCE report come in. Pretty much met expectations, and right now just crypto is doing very, very well, and that's really the lead story. Obviously XRP is continuing to kind of bounce back. I think doing kind of statistically better than a lot of other assets out there. From an XRP price prediction standpoint, we're going to talk about that in this video as well. Something I want you to be aware of as we are kind of looking at what's going to play out in the next couple of months, right? I always talk to you guys about this because I want you to understand what's playing out and what's going to be happening. Well, that's obnoxious. Hopefully that's not going to continue. Somebody opened the door. I think that we've got volatility. We got up days like today, and then we got down days. We're going to see that. I think we possibly could see Bitcoin and crypto pull back as we roll into the summer and August months. Remember what I always tell you guys, there's not a lot of bullish liquidity in the market right now. So even though we're having a good day today, that's good stuff, right? Just remember that we still have a long time to get to August. I talked to you guys about this in videos. We have a long time to get to August, and because I think in August is when everything's really going to turn around and we're going to see significant inflows of capital money coming in. Now, the only thing that could change what I'm talking to you guys about is if we do get the Clarity Act signed. If we get the Clarity Act signed, before the summer, then that's going to completely change the game, and I'll obviously keep you guys updated along the way. So from an XRP price prediction, Clarity Act signed, and by Q4, I think we're going to see XRP go easily to $9-10, if not more. I think that's a possibility because we'll see Bitcoin, on its way to 200,000. Yeah, and so it's going to happen kind of in the context of that. So I want to make a real quick video for you guys, kind of let you know my thoughts on what I'm seeing. But right now we're having a good day. Just remember, glass half empty, half full kind of thing. Remember, you always need to know that we've got good days like today, but we're really going to be in choppy times as we roll into the remainder of this quarter and then into the summer. It all starts and turns around after August. Appreciate you giving me a few minutes, and thanks. Bye.
We have brand new.
So shout out to Austin, and we'll come back to this crypto sensei video. Let's see here.
We have brand new, never seen before clips of a shoe never seen about before accelerating institutional adoption of XRP.
Is this the same video? It is. Actually, I already had the video. That's weird.
We have brand new, never seen before.
I got 3 videos that open up at once. I think this is the same video 2 or 3 times, which is weird. But this is XRP. Price outlook is $3.50 within reach. What up, Silver Days? Thanks for joining. What up, Dave? XRP is trading near $1.35, $1.40 with strong trading activity, growing attention from investors, increasing well accumulation. XRP ledger I was looking for something. Give me. Oh, okay, there it is. No, wait a minute. That's weird. Increasing well accumulation and XRP ledger adoption are supporting more positive long-term outlook. A move towards $3.50 would require a strong crypto currency market rally along with continued Ripple ecosystem growth. XRP keeps drawing a lot of attention in the crypto world through its close ties to Ripple's global payment tech and its big role in cross-border transactions. The altcoin is trading near $1.35 to $1.40 at press time, putting the market cap above 84 billion. Daily trading volume stays high, which is why there is plenty of liquidity and traders aren't losing interest. Numbers like these keep XRP ranking among the top digital assets out there. Right now, the big question for investors and analysts is whether XRP can actually push up to $3.50, which would be a major comeback and put it right near its previous high from the past bull run. XRP price movement and influential events. XRP has experienced wild swings in the past year. It spiked up almost to $3.65 during the last big rally, then dipped more than 60% to about $1.45. At the moment, XRP's price is stuck in a tight band between $1.30 and $1.40. Analysts see $1.27 as a key support level as prices dip close to that, buyers are likely to step in. On the flip side, if XRP breaks above $1.48 or $1.51, it could spark a stronger bullish move. If that happens, prices could push towards $1.60 or even $1.85 in the short run. Just kind of sideways action usually means the market's catching its breath before the next big move. The big reason people are getting more bullish on XRP is the whale activity. On-chain data shows major investors scooped up more than 110 million XRP this month. That's worth 152 million in total. Moves like this usually signal confidence in future price. In the past, when whales piled in during quiet periods, big rallies often followed. So when these heavy hitters boost their holdings, it tends to mean they expect prices to climb. The XRP ledger activity. There's also a lot happening with the XRP ledger. The blockchain that runs XRP, lately it has been gaining more interest in tokenized real world assets. The value of these tokenized assets on the ledger shot up from 25 million in the early 2025 to over 2 billion. That's huge growth, and it shows the network's funding uses beyond just payments. As more people use the blockchain, demand for XRP itself goes up. Since it's needed for fees and liquidity, this adoption help builds the stronger case for the XRP future. Crypto market influence supports factors. The wider crypto market shapes XRP's movement too. Lately, there's been much more worry about inflation and energy price swings. The digital asset space has also enjoyed bursts of good news and regained confidence. Factors like easing geopolitical tensions and new waves of interest from major institutional players has helped push the prices up, including XRP. Ripple has made headlines too, especially in expansion overseas. The company has obtained financial service license in Australia. I made a video about that. Actually, we did live about that yesterday, which means it can do more business there within countries' regulatory or regulated system. Progress like this means institutional investors and financial partners more comfortable with Ripple's technology. XRP's price prediction. The cautious side says XRP will probably trade between $1.40 and $2.10 through 2026, maintaining a slow, steady climb as the ecosystem continues to grow. The optimists have bolder targets, anywhere from $3 to $8 in the next bull run, especially if demand in institutional and payment networks takes off. Some are even predicting the average price around $8 or $3.85 in 2026. If the stars line up, the $3.50 mark doesn't look out of reach at all. Could XRP reach $3.50? For XRP to reach $3.50, the price would need to rise roughly 150% from its current levels. Such move would likely require several favorable factors working together: a strong bull cycle and the wider cryptocurrency market would be one of the most important drivers. Continue expansion of the XRP ledger ecosystem, increasing institutional participation, positive regulatory developments could also support higher evaluations. In terms of technical levels, the token would first need to break above the $1.50, then face stronger resistance near $2 and $2.80 before moving towards the $3.50 region. So that's actually a pretty good article. I didn't even read it at first, but I'm actually pretty shocked. Let's look at the numbers and come back to X. So for the XRP terminal, looks like spot is 14.5 mil won. Leverage volume is 19.5 mil won. Going down to Bitwise. Bitwise is $15.66. Do I got Bitwise? I need to double check that actually. Up 1.52%, 7.85 million 24-hour volume. Franklin Templeton 1.90% up, $15.20, 2.65 million in volume. Canary Capital 1.84% to $14.87. 2.33 million in 24-hour volume. Rex Osprey is kind of moving up. 634,000. $11.48, up 1.59%. 21 shares, up 2.41% to $13.57. 539,000 24-hour trading volume. And Grayscale, $27.11, up 1.83% to 523,000. Derivative markets, Turcom 2X, 2.63% to $4.30, 8.93 million 24-hour trading volume. Volatility shares, $42.25, up 3.12% to 6.28 million. Volatility shares, $7.97, up 1.59%. Pro shares, 2.87% up, $4.13 to 2 million. Amplify 3%, $15.03, up 1.54, 87,000. This is Coin Shares and Wisdom Tree. And I'm trying to remember, what was that? Curve? What was that that started yesterday? I actually got a video about it. Let me check the videos. What was that? What was that live stream? Oh, yeah, Curve XRP. And I need to check to see if that has been listed yet. That XRP. So over to the XRP radar. On the radar, looks like escrow is 39 billion. Circling applies 63 billion. Burnt is 14.3 million. RLUSD is 1.5 billion. Stable coins. Exchanges 14.13 billion. Just trying to check this account real quick for this curve. XRP is still not listed yet. Is it not listed? Yeah, still not on here. That's weird. I don't know what is going on with that curve. Yeah, it ain't here. That's strange. Well, keep an eye out for that curve XRP. This ETF indexes is climbing, man. 777 million. I remember when this was at 200 and 100 million. DeFi AMA is 235.9 million. Tokenized RWA is 1.5 billion. Treasury is 473 million. Going on down to the exchanges, Upbit is down 7.9 million, still 38.3% of the total supply. Binance is unchanged, 16.6%. Thumb is down 2.7 million to 12.7%. Uphold and came up to 11.7. They're in fourth place with 254,000. BitBank is 4.1, down 332. CoinCheck is 3.9. eToro's down 11,000 to 3.4. Crypto.com's up 3.4 million to 2.4. Telling you, man, Crypto.com is gaining. These guys are going to be in the top 5 soon. Sooner than later. Coin One's down 464,000, 2.2% of the supply on the exchanges. BitFlyers down 44,000 to 1.3. And BitTrue is unchanged at 0.8. Then we'll go over to the ledger. And this is the first time I've seen the ledger down. And I don't know what happened here. But the distributed asset value is down 4.59 in the last month. Maybe the months rolled over? I don't know. 459.7 million. Represent asset value 1.4 billion, down 2.29 in the last month. Stablecoin market 402 mil won, down 5.37. RWA count is 218. RWA holders is 24. Trying to turn his heater on. Stablecoin holders is 52.6 thousand, up 49.6% in the last month. Well, that's cool. The number's green. RWA in the last 30-day transfers is 15.9. 149.8 million, which is also weird because that number is usually in the thousands. So something must have happened. I don't know if the numbers are off or if it changed in the middle of the month. I'm gonna check this. Yeah, so RLUSD is down 9.5 on the last month. Ondo's up 0.2. Yeah, these numbers updated. That is weird. Why would it update in the middle of the month? I don't know. We can check that later. This is XRP Ledger validators weighed 2 amendments as vote lags. XRP Ledger validators weighed 2 amendments as vote lags. The XRP Ledger is reviewing 2 proposed amendments that can expand lending functions and strengthening the vault. Infrastructure. Validators have begun voting, yet early participation remains limited. I didn't even know they were voting. That's probably why early participation is limited. We didn't freaking know you were voting. What the fuck is this? Validators have begun voting, yet early participation is limited. Current results suggest proposed deal face significant hurdles before reaching activation requirements. Data from XRP scan shows the validators have submitted only a small portion of the required votes. The network requires a strong consensus before any protocol changes become active. Consequently, both amendments remain far from necessary approval threshold. The proposed changes target a deeper financial functionality across the XRP ecosystem. Developers designed them to enhance lending capabilities and assessed management tools. However, the current voting pace indicates the activation may take longer than expected. Single asset vault amendment. Validators are currently assessing the V3.10 single asset vault assessment across the network. The proposal introduces vault mechanisms designed for single asset management within decentralized environments. As a result, developers expect stronger custody options for on-chain finance applications. So far, only 8 validators have recorded votes supporting the proposal. The number remains well below the required activation threshold. Therefore, the amendments currently shows limited progress towards implementation. The XRP ledger requires at least 28 validators approvals to activate protocol changes. The requirements represents roughly 80% of the network's validators set. Without that support, the activation process automatically resets after the voting period. The lending protocol amendment. Validator is also reviewing the 3.10 lending protocol amendment during the same voting cycle. This proposal introduces infrastructure for native lending services within the XRP ledger ecosystem. Consequently, developers aim to expand DeFi finance capabilities directly on the network. This amendment is gathered on 6 validator votes so far. That participation rate equals about 70% of total validation pool. Therefore, the proposal remains far behind required approval thresholds. If voting participate does not accelerate, the activation timer will expire. When this happens, the amendment returns to the pending state. Validators may then reconsider the proposal during future voting rounds. Interesting. XRP could be worth more than gold by 2023. Today's gold market cap is 35.5 trillion, swelled by powerful uncertainty rally above 5,100 per ounce. XRP, on the other hand, has a market cap of 83 billion. Nevertheless, the last 7 years, XRP's price is up 328, whereas gold has only increased 286%. Given the strong performance over that period, the given prospects of growth, it could be possible for XRP's market cap to flip or overtakes gold by 2030. Let's walk through what that could take. And for some weird reason, there's no more information there. So let's go over to X. So on X, these are some updates. Make sure you join the BTM Crypto News Network to stay updated on crypto news. Those are the models from yesterday. XRP Ledger. Okay, we literally just read that. Levi, breaking. President Trump says Fed Chair Jerome Powell should lower interest rates immediately without waiting for the next FOMC meeting. Clarity bill passed and interest rates come down. Yeah, good luck with that. Bro, you know they got to.
And they want to kill it because they're so petrified of inflation. I want somebody that when the market is doing great, interest rates can go down because our country becomes stronger. See, you view it differently. Our country becomes stronger, and therefore interest rates should go down, not up. They kill every rally. If it's no matter who, it's beyond me as president. It's no matter who's president. You have a good quarter, and they want to kill it because they're so petrified of inflation.
So keeping it moving, this is Donald Trump says crypto will skyrocket like never before, even beyond your expectations. Please and thank you.
Today, and Bitcoin and crypto will skyrocket like never before, even beyond your expectations, and you are the people that are doing it. As we stop the war on crypto, we will immediately, and we'll do this very quickly, begin to build our economy, because when America is prospering, Bitcoin is soaring, and it'll go up with it. We had the greatest economy ever, and we will soon have it again. Under the Trump administration, the typical middle-class family income rose by $6,000 a year. People don't like mentioning that. America had more money to save than at any time in many decades. As a result, during my 4 years in office, now you have to listen to these numbers. These numbers are like beautiful. And I don't want to repeat myself. Listen to these numbers. As a result, during my 4 years in office, Bitcoin surged by 3,900% from $898 the day I took office to $35,900 the day I left. That was the biggest jump, I guess, in just about any industry. Think of that. Now compare that to just after 3.5 years of Biden and Harris, adjusted for inflation, Bitcoin is up 50%. Now, 50% sounds good, but not when you're comparing it to almost 4,000%, right? 50%. You know, normally you say, oh, that sounds pretty good. Let's not put that into the speech. No, 50% is not good when people can't afford groceries.
So keeping it moving. Next is let me see. Pause this. These blockchains will change the world and real world finance. Digital assets entering new phase. What once ran in parallel existing financial systems is increasingly being applied to solve practical. I thought I stopped that. Real world needs, often behind the scenes, from cross border remittance to B2B money transfers. This creates new opportunity, adds value. We introduced MasterCard Crypto Partner Program, a global initiative that brings together 85 crypto native companies, payment providers, and financial institutions together. We're creating a forum for meaningful dialogue and collaboration as the space continues to mature. I'll just run that if there's no words, if it's just songs, because they'll ping me for the song with copyright. While XRP starts moving, traders usually see a few key indicators: major support and resistance, trading volume, overall crypto market momentum. These signals can hint at whether a move is just a short term spike or part of a larger trend. So let me ask you something. What do you think XRP can realistically do in the next bull run? $2, $5, $10 or higher? Let me know your predictions in the comments. And considering that, I think we actually skipped this whole little portion. Let me add this to the notes because I don't even know if we put that in the notes from the video yesterday. I think I completely forgot that. I need an assistant. So while I'm doing that, put in the notes what you guys think for the comments. I guess it's comments. Actually, I think that is just a prediction. And what was that prediction? Where do you think XRP could realistically go in the next bull run? $5, $2, $5, or $10 or higher. So put that in the comments. And yeah, so crypto market currently 2.49 trillion, up 5%. The CMC 20 is $146.23, up 1.92%. Fear and greed is back in fear. It's almost out of fear, which is crazy. And altcoin season is 40. We were well away from Bitcoin dominance. We're pulling almost in 50% at the altcoin season. And I've never seen it this far over and overbought. Crypto RSI is at 60.91. I've never seen it over 50%. So things are getting dicey. So for XRP, we are at $1.39, up 1.98% on the day. Market cap is 85.6 billion, up 2%. 24-hour trading volume is 3.6 billion, up 87.4%. And altcoin season may be quietly setting up for their next move. Micro pressures building. Oil market remains tense due to risk around the Strait of Hormuz. And Bitcoin isn't loving it. Bitcoin stuck around 70K with the supply loss approaching 40 to 50% zone, historically linked to the early bear market phase. But there's a twist. When Bitcoin stalls under micro pressure, capital often hunts faster returns in altcoins. And that's kind of what we were looking for. So keeping it moving. Make sure you join the BTM Crypto News Network on X to stay current on news and updates. This is a message from the Dubai billionaires, March 10th. Largest wealth transfer in human history has begun. Rashad just got off a 3-hour call with insiders from Dubai billionaires. Can't see much right now, but it's starting March 10th. The largest transfer of wealth in human history will begin. Most people have no idea what's about to happen. This is not someone's prediction. This is facts left by real insiders. We are already know where the wealth is flowing. XLM to $100, XRP to 1,000. Elon Musk, the billionaire in Dubai, just said March changes everything. March bull rush signals have already dropped. I'm not sure what this is. Banking partner, whatever. MasterCard accelerating blockchain payment expansion. Visa joined crypto payments. PayPal launched stablecoin. PYUSD. Stripe acquired Bridge. Co-founder Patrick holds 2 billion XLM. Coinbase X Money partner, crypto partner. Destination is XRP and XLM. The price you buy today will become legend tomorrow. The world's largest transfer. Interesting. This is maybe even hundreds of millions is coming soon. Please don't miss it. There's too much news to tell you about today. Got to be honest with you. It's good news. Access is strictly. Access is strictly.
6, please join me there if you like. XRP is going to make a lot of people the first billionaire that they know. Listen, you may not have enough to put in to become a billionaire, but you certainly have enough to become a millionaire, multimillionaire, maybe even hundreds of millions. It's coming soon. Please don't miss it. There's too much news to tell you about today. I got to be honest with you. It's all good news. So I do lives at 2 and 6. Please join me there if you like. Ask any questions, and I'll be going over all the news. XRP is going to make a lot of people the first billionaire that they know.
I'm going to have to check that live at 6, see what he's talking about. So this is big news for XRP
a regulated
holders.
security. It is. It's worth more to tenants than Bitcoin. Until Bitcoin becomes a regulated security through the Clarity Act and gets up to 150,000, that's probably where, or maybe 200,000, where you're acknowledging. It is. It's worth more to tenants than Bitcoin. Until Bitcoin becomes a regulated security through the Clarity Act and gets up to 150,000, that's probably where, or maybe 200,000, where you're acknowledging. It is. It's worth more to tenants than Bitcoin. Until Bitcoin becomes a regulated security through the Clarity Act and gets up to 150,000, that's probably where, or maybe 200,000, where you're acknowledging. It is. It's worth more.
So shout out to Dave. 10 plus XRP, hopefully way higher. Definitely appreciate that, Dave. And you might be on to something. XRP could be worth more than gold by 2030. We looked at that already. This is comment DM for insight. And let's see what this guy's talking about.
That XRP's price. This is the moment that all XRP holders have been waiting for 7 years. We always knew that XRP's price was based on its utility. It was never based on hype. It was never based on a Bitcoin bull run. It was based on its actual need to be used for cross-border payments, on-demand liquidity, and everything else that it offers these central banks and governments and the world as a whole. The cost of oil is up over 40% in a week. This is something that I've been talking about over the past 3-4 months. This is something that Jake Laver has been talking about. This oil crisis was always in the cards. We didn't know where it was going to come from. We didn't know that it was going to be a United States and Israel attack on Iran and that Iran would close down the Strait of Hormuz. We didn't know how it was going to happen, but we knew that it was going to be due to the Strait of Hormuz likely closing down. But what this is going to cause is the price of oil in Japan to skyrocket. It's going to cause the price of oil to skyrocket all over the world. But the thing about Japan is that they don't actually produce any of their own oil. So they rely on other countries to source their oil from. And when this happens, when the price of oil skyrockets, this causes huge amounts of inflation in Japan. Next, they're going to have to raise interest rates. And the interesting thing about this was back in December, I was calling for XRP to hit 3 digits before January. This is because I thought Japan was going to raise their interest rates in their last meeting. But the interesting thing about this whole timeline, when it's all playing out, is that the next meeting for interest rates in Japan for the Bank of Japan is March 18th. So I believe that we're going to see Japan raise interest rates due to this whole oil crisis. It's inevitable, and they can't not raise interest rates at this point without huge amounts of inflation destroying their economy. So it looks like this is finally the moment where XRP begins to be utilized for its actual use case for on-demand liquidity for cross-border payments. This is why the past 7 years XRP has not spiked at all, because it hasn't been used. This is also why I believe that Bitcoin and XRP are actually going to inverse at this point. XRP is actually going to flip Bitcoin because XRP is actual utility. Bitcoin is only driven by hype.
It's an interesting proposal, but I've been saying that for some time. But we will see. This is Brad talking to the banking committee. See what he
We
had
were
to say.
founded more than a decade ago with a mission to enable the Internet of Value, a world where money moves like information does today. We build software products that power cross-border payments, stablecoins, and digital custody. Ripple helps financial institutions reduce friction, unlock efficiencies, and serve their customers better. These are not abstract concepts. We work every day with banks that rely on our technology to deliver real results in the global economy. Ripple leverages the XRP ledger, a decentralized, battle-tested, open-source blockchain, as well as its native digital asset, XRP, to facilitate payments. XRP is built to enable fast, low-cost, and highly scalable transactions. From the start, Ripple made the deliberate choice to work with policymakers and regulators, not around them. We have taken a compliance-first approach, operating with over 60 payment, service, crypto, and money transmitter licenses domestically and globally. With regard to the topic of this hearing, we believe smart legislation should be based on several core principles. Consumers need protection from fraud and scams. Markets need proper oversight. Bad actors need to be kept in check. And innovation must thrive. A constructive and workable framework for digital assets and stablecoins that achieves these goals will expand access to financial markets, create jobs, strengthen the economy, and put the U.S. on the path to being a global blockchain and crypto leader. For the last decade, the legal and regulatory uncertainty surrounding crypto has prohibited meaningful progress in the U.S. At Ripple, we certainly saw firsthand how the lack of clear rules of the road can be weaponized to target good actors. In turn, the technology, jobs, and tax dollars that go with it are pushed offshore, reducing regulatory oversight and putting consumers at higher risk. This has severely harmed American businesses, investors, and, of most concern, consumers. Ripple was the tip of the spear for this regulation by enforcement campaign and was subject to an enforcement action in 2020. We were the first leading U.S. company to be sued by the SEC. We and many others understood that a loss here would be a death knell for the industry. Fortunately, after 4 years of a hard-fought legal battle, we prevailed. The court ruled in our favor on everything that mattered, including finding that the token XRP is not, in and of itself, a security. Our victory cleared the path for other market participants to fight back. Despite these headwinds, Ripple still prioritizes education and engagement with policymakers and regulators globally. For companies to have the confidence to continue doing business in the United States, Congress should focus on passing principled and smart legislation with these critical goals in mind. First, set clear jurisdictional boundaries for our main financial regulators. Second, establish pathways for companies to build in the U.S. without sacrificing investor or consumer protections. And third, ensure that the U.S. can be a global leader in crypto by taking full advantage of the benefits and efficiencies brought by digital assets and blockchain technologies. The U.S. possesses the world's deepest capital markets, the most advanced technical talent, and a spirit of innovation that has powered our nation since its founding. There is no reason we should not be the undisputed leader in digital assets and blockchain. Over 55 million Americans participate in the crypto economy today, equating to over a $3.3 trillion market cap. A smart regulatory framework for crypto market structure is essential to realize that future and is overdue. Speaking on behalf of the crypto industry, I urge you to prioritize the passage of market structure legislation for digital assets through this committee and the full Senate, to provide the rules and regulations needed to ensure that the U.S. becomes the crypto capital of the world. Once market structure legislation for digital assets becomes law in the United States, this will catalyze a new era of U.S. competitiveness and unlock efficiencies in financial transactions, dramatically helping consumers and businesses alike. Ripple hopes to see this become a reality, and we look forward to working with you to help make this happen. I look forward to your questions. My name is
Carter Gene, I don't think this is live. I think this is a video from when he was talking with the banking committee, and I don't know when that was. Breaking news: CFTC announced Ripple CEO Brad Gensinghouse is now a member of the Innovation Advisory Committee. So we got Brian Armstrong, we got Uniswap, Options Clearing, Rohit, I don't know who this is, Polymarket, or some representative, A16Z. How the freak is this guy? Seaboat, CME, NASDAQ, Brad, and FanDuel. What the freak? That's kind of a motley crew of folks. XRP shows fresh strength, trading near $4 and $1.41 with 2.3% gains. Market volume hits 3.7 billion. Bull defends 0.90 support. Short-term targets of 145. Achieve long-term breakout. Keeping it moving. Ripple just announced they're targeting 33 trillion in stable coin inflows. Yes, 33 trillion. Even if a fraction of that touches the XRP ecosystem, the impact could be massive. This is the moment to watch closely. Are you holding XRP right now? Comment yes if you are. Best believe it, fool. I guess we'll come back and put that comment in. Bullish circulation supply of XRP is smaller than you think. Analyst of Black Swan Capitalist urges XRP's true circulating supply is smaller than most people realize, and global settlement adoption could shrink it further. Once escrow, institutional reserves, and tokens locked is active, payment rails are removed. Available float drops significantly. With 6 spot ETFs live, 1.4 billion institutional inflows, exchange balance falling. The SEC case resolved, demand pressure is building. If banks adopt XRP at scale for cross-border settlement, the basic supply-demand math points to major price discovery ahead. And that's what I've been saying, guys. If these guys start using it for real, right, it's already too many hands in the pot currently. News: XRP exchange transaction delta just hit all-time high. Investors are withdrawing XRP from exchanges to external wallets across 15 major platforms. Less XRP on exchanges often signals reduced selling pressure and stronger long-term positioning. Breaking news: U.S. bans Fed CBDC. United States just passed bills blocking Federal Reserve from creating a central bank digital currency, a huge move for financial freedom in crypto industry, massive win for XRP and decentralized.
26 and further purposes.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask unanimous consent to resume the motion to proceed to calendar number 311, HR 7147.
Without objection.
Thank you, Mr. President.
The clerk will report.
Motion to proceed to calendar 311, HR 7147, an act making further consolidated appropriations for the fiscal year ending September 30, 2026 and further purposes.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have 4 requests for committees to meet during today's session of the Senate. They have the approval of the majority and minority leaders.
Duly noted.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask unanimous consent to resume the motion to proceed to calendar number 311, HR 7147.
Without objection.
Thank you, Mr.
The
President.
clerk will report.
Motion to proceed to calendar 311, HR 7147, and act making further consolidated appropriations.
XRP price predictions says 77% of Hong Kong's financial firms are embracing digital assets. XRP is set to surge. 77% of Hong Kong's financial institutions embrace digital assets. Rumor alert. Rumors say XRP could be integrated as a payment method in X Money. That if that becomes a reality, we're talking about crypto payments inside one of the biggest platforms on the planet. And it's old news. Let's see what Crypto Sensei has.
That is what Evernorth is there to do. Also, technology gets introduced, regulations stabilize the market, and then capital enters at scale. We have new XRP ETF products hitting the market soon, as well as new collaborations between Ripple, XRP, and a ton of companies. Let's go ahead and start here with the most important information. If you get any value, make sure that you're subscribed.
Our mission is really to accelerate XRP's institutional adoption. And this is I think something that we've said over the years is that we're not disruptors in the traditional sense. We're bridge builders. And, the XRP ledger, companies like Evernorth, bridging traditional capital and bringing that on chain. That is where the market is headed. That is what we need for markets to scale, that last missing piece of financial institutional capital.
Man, it seems like Evernorth is working on so much behind the scenes, and we don't really hear a lot about it. So it's really good to get these clips to better understand what their goals are and how they are going to achieve them. And so Chad posted this: technology gets introduced, regulations stabilize the market, and then capital enters at scale. And so let me go ahead and play this for you. Let me make it bigger.
What's the big deal? Why am I so excited about this moment in time in blockchain?
Tell us.
Well, a quick history lesson here is in the history of financial markets, what has to happen is that technology gets introduced. In our case here, we're talking about blockchain. Regulation stabilizes. And then third, capital comes into the market. That's the sequencing, and we've seen this happen again and again.
All right. Regulation will allow trillions of dollars to come into the space. And Evernorth says regulated access to XRP, public market exposure, active XRP treasury management, and on-chain yield strategies. I do believe these clips are the exact same, so I don't want to play them again. Let me see here.
A bit about, Evernorth as a platform. Investors gain regulated access. A lot of folks can't hold direct, a lot of institutions can't hold crypto directly. This is regulated access. Active treasury management, we're going to be putting that XRP to work after we are closed and merged. And then I'm really excited about building that yield strategy on chain.
Get that XRP working. We want to see it grow. We want to see more demand. We want to see higher prices. We're getting more information on MasterCard. MasterCard officially launched the Crypto Partner Program, which confirmed participants including Ripple, Cross River Bank, and WebBank. Remember that Ripple, WebBank, MasterCard, and Gemini had a pilot program for credit card, and you start to wonder what really is happening behind the scenes here. Now here's where it gets interesting. Cross River has worked with Ripple since 2014 on real-time payments infrastructure, but Cross River is also the banking partner of X Money, and then add WebBank. WebBank is part of Ripple's RLUSD stablecoin pilot with MasterCard and Gemini for card settlements on the XRP ledger. Now connect the dots. The Ripple blockchain rails plus Cross River X Money banking layer plus WebBank's RLUSD card settlements role, plus MasterCard's global payment network, all sitting inside the same official program. The issue here is X Money's biggest partner is Visa, not MasterCard. So I love the connections that we're making here. We're just missing the vital piece of X Money is going to be using Visa Direct and not MasterCard. So can they use Cross Rivers and Ripple technology through Cross River? Probably, and you probably will see that. There is more connection there to Solana and USDC and Visa than there is Ripple, but I just wanted to give you that additional context because I feel it's very important. And back in 2022, MasterCard CEO Michael Maybach shocked a panel when he said that SWIFT may not exist in 5 years. When asked directly if SWIFT would still exist, his answer was simply no. Fast forward to now, MasterCard just publicly said to Ripple, fueling the future of digital payment world now connects the dots. MasterCard CEO teases CBDC panel, SWIFT may not exist in 5 years. Of course, there's the clip. And then this is maybe what they're leading into. You know, there's obviously things that are being announced right now, have been working on for months or even years in the background. And so it's really interesting to wake up every day and to see everything that the Ripple team, and of course, MasterCard is $9.7 trillion in volume. Just being able to be one of the partners here really says that they have been working with Ripple a very long time. And you wonder how big the opportunity is going to be here. Can Ripple move 5 or 10% of this 9.7 trillion? Or is it going to be more? Obviously, if they can move this money at scale for cheaply, MasterCard might go all in. And that's what we would love to see. Western Union does 103 billion annual volume. There's no debate. Solana is not on the same level as Ripple. I would agree in some respects. Absolutely. Massive XRP is now available at Banque de la Banque, NCIE. That was bad. I'm sorry. French is not my forte. The first French bank to receive MiCA approval. Bank says XRP is now available on Banque de la Banque, trading available on 5 assets: Bitcoin, ETH, USDC, Solana, and XRP. Buy, sell, exchange, real-time prices. Love to see banks now offering crypto. This is going to be, every bank eventually here soon. They're all going to want a piece. What is the bank here doing? Independent French bank founded in 1924, focused on niche professional banking and now digital assets. First French bank to be registered as a digital asset service provider with a AMF in 2022, and later among the first to obtain full MiCA authorization. Crypto asset services in the EU markets itself as a pioneer crypto-friendly bank, combining traditional banking infrastructure with regulated access to a small basket of cryptocurrencies. And so, what crypto services do they offer? It's all right here if you want to read through it. XRP specific connections. XRP is now one of the only 5 assets available to trade directly against the euro inside a fully licensed EU bank environment. The bank was already integrated with Bitstamp for execution liquidity. So XRP liquidity likely routes through Bitstamp order book while customers interact through a regulated banking front end. Remember, you can have that front end, but how's that infrastructure set up behind the scenes? That is Bitstamp. Pretty interesting there. Now, you saw today the KURV XRP SEC registration became effective, clearing the way for launch of the SIBO exchange incoming. The screenshot shows the Curve XRP Enhanced Income ETF just become effective as the SEC has cleared it for launch on SIBO, which is a meaningful but indirect positive for XRP rather than a pure spot game changer. The Curve ETF Trust filed a Form N1A post-effective amendment with the SEC. Its Enhanced Income ETF on March 11, 2026. The prospectus confirms the name and trading ticker KXRP. Alongside, the ETF is designed to enhance the income product that uses options and other derivatives on XRP plus related XRPE. So this is not a spot product. This will not affect price. All right, breaking XRP whale activity spikes on exchanges. CryptoQuant data shows large XRP whale transactions have surged this year with several sharp spikes across major exchanges. This was back here in February, was the biggest spike here. And as you can see, it has cooled a bit since then, but just wanting to show you here, Binance alone saw 450 million XRP in the past 10 days. The U.S. Senate passes a bill to block federal CBDC, but the House could stop it. The U.S. Senate approved a bipartisan housing bill that includes a provision banning the Federal Reserve from issuing a government-run digital dollar. The vote was overwhelming, 89-10. Sources confirmed that the language would block the Fed from creating a CBDC directly or indirectly through banks or intermediaries, at least through 2030. However, big detail, the bill may still face resistance fight in the House, meaning that it has passed the Senate. The House could make changes, just as you saw the Clarity Act pass the House with the Democratic support, goes over to the Senate, they make changes to the bill, and then you don't get that same support that you once had. Now, derivatives are flashing red here for XRP holders. Here's what the data is telling us right now. OI down, perp CVD down, spot CVD down, funding going negative across the board. That's not one signal. That's all the signals pointing the same direction simultaneously. When OI drops and perp CVD drops together, that means longs are being closed and shorts squeezed out. The big difference, traders aren't just getting liquidated, they're voluntarily exiting. Spot market isn't saving it either. Sell side pressure is dominating there too. Funding rates gone negative on almost every major exchange. Binance, Bybit, most of them. Only OKX is hanging near neutral. Everyone else, bears are getting paid to hold shorts right now. Here's the thing though, this isn't automatically a death sentence for XRP. Flushing out over leveraged longs equals cleaner market structure, less speculative foam, potential base for a real move. The market needed to breathe. This is exactly what it's doing. Remember, we really need to hold above $1.27. If we are able to lose that, we could be going down to $1. So it's really important that we maintain this composure here. And so Crypto Erie is kind of hitting back. Ripple said that it's buying back $750 million worth of shares. And people are saying that Ripple is selling XRP to buy back the shares, dumping on the community. And so Crypto Erie put this out. If you're an XRP holder and you're not sure how some of the XRP sold by Ripple is being used, take a look at the open rolls. And here's what some of the firepower goes. Ripple X Dev, branded by Ripple as RX, is on a mission to establish the XRP ledger to make it the go-to blockchain for institutional DeFi. The RX team's efforts will center around institutional DeFi adoption, ecosystem growth, and strengthening XRPL ledger fundamentals. What you'll do, lead operational orchestration for DeFi and EVM sidechain initiatives, including governance frameworks, fund development mechanisms, and collaboration models with the studio and third parties. Develop and maintain a multi-year ecosystem growth framework in tandem with product and partnerships anchored to the utility, liquidity, and trust. North Star define shared measurable metrics for all external hubs, Commons, APAC Hub, XRP Studio, for a clear success criteria and decision checkpoints for programs including real-world asset grants, startup programs, hackathons, and developer relations. Coordinate cross-functional projects to activate key use cases such as stablecoin payments, credit card, capital markets, real-world asset, driving regulated asset and institutional activity on-chain. Collaborate with product and partnership teams to find and expand XRP yield use cases across the XRP ledger. Measure success by XRP deployed by counterparties, generating yield inside and outside the lending protocol. Collaborate with PMM and product to deliver actionable GTMs for key product launches, and design decision-making frameworks that accelerates choices, increases transparency, and drive go, no-go alignment with RX leads. So there's a lot of things happening in the background, guys. Make sure that you are subscribed and you are supporting the channel as we go through this information. About 60% of people have left crypto at the
So shout out to the crypto sensei. Next video is Stockmo's talking about the Clarity Act.
Speaking of this video, something special just happened for XRP that you have to watch now. Folks, it's happening live. I can't wait to get into it. Fingers crossed, we have a lot of good things. Now, I do want to start out with some positivity. Folks, what a week. I want to go over all of it, man. Check this out. So shout out to the members in the Discord. It was a great week of the live trading. We're bringing tons of new plays and options starting today. Today, we're going to be putting them in there as well. So you're going to have all kinds of stuff in there. I'm excited about it. Lurker in there. I see you. Lurker, good name. We got my plays. I'll share that. This is from yesterday. Actually, I ended up over 4,000 by the time I was done. I had a couple of trades afterward. I was still practicing a few things. Worked out great. Now, that was during the live stream, though. That was, I think, it was 2,600 and something. Yeah, during the live stream. Very good. And then made some money in the SPY. We got all kinds of people in here. You guys can check them out. Here's the shout outs, of course. And then, of course, so it was 36 plus the 4. It's 76. That was the other day. And I think I had one more day in there. That's not it. That's a single trade. It was, let's see if I can get it in there. It was a good week, like I said, right here. Boom. And this was Tuesday. So 76 plus 44, that's $12,000, folks. You can tell my day trading was fantastic this week. Now, it's not like that all the time. 80% of the days I do well, 20%, I do not. And my goal is to just cap how bad the 20% are and really enjoy the 80% days, which we have been doing. So last week was also a great week. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know if I'm going to try to be able to get in there today. I have somebody stopping over at 2. I don't know. We'll see if we can sneak in an extra session or not. Maybe early afternoon, maybe not. I don't know. I will let you know, though, as we go forward. And I might give a surprise in Discord only trading experience today, possibly. If you want to join, first link down below, get into the new Earner Plus tier. We have the Earner Plus tier. You get the Earner Plus channels. You get the Earner Plus only trading on Wednesdays. And you get my indicator, the big thing. That's this. Now, you might say indicator. Look at this, folks. This is what I'm talking about. So use code BREAD here. When you check out and hit join now, BREAD, B-R-E-A-D, saves you 10% forever. Now, look at this. At the making of this video, and I don't expect this to hold. What do you mean hold? We have big pushes. As you can see, I am expecting, you can say, where do you think we're going to go, Mo? Right here. I think we're going to hit this, and I don't know if we can go, because you can see we hit it, boom, here. Anytime we had these candles, see these massive greens? We got up there. We got up there. Now we're right there, right? You see this little thing? A little bit. So I actually think we probably will be able to hit 143. But this right here, see this little, this is the stock mo indicator. This is what it's about. It gives you signals, and then you can use it. Remember, it's all tied together. Man, it's beautiful with TradingView. This is what it's about. And look at this little green thing. 5 crossing 13. Now let's go back in time. Ready? I'm going to hit a button. It's the stock mode time machine. Let's go back to the last time we have seen that green dot and that diamond, that green diamond. You guys see it yet? Boom. That's not it. That's the 1350. We don't want that one. I want that one. We're looking for the little green diamond. A little green diamond. Little green. There it is. Right there. Right there. This is the last time we saw it. And that little green diamond, and it's all the way back in November. Goodness gracious. All the way back. And that's the bigger ones. And that was just a teasing one. And let's go back to the, and then there's a nice one there. And we're under the 50. Notice how we're still under the 50. So all the way back in November. My goodness, that's terrible. And we want to be able to break that. So now we're into March, and we finally have the 513 again. And these are the monster ones, so 13 over the 50. I'd love to be able to see one of these. This one was a bear trap through and through. Got me. And down we came, and now we sideways. We're about to break out. I can't tell you if it's up or down. I got it. My opinion is it's going to be up, but you see this massive leg down based on the Trump tariffs, and then now they're illegal, and now they have different ones, and then sideways since then, and now the SEC and the CFTC are working together, Project Harmony, or crypto, and they're harmonizing everything. Bollinger Band's tight. Like, this thing is ready to pop. Is it going to pop up or down? That's the $1 million question. Any kind of good news about the Clarity Act, and you guys can see we have a chance to run. Where would it go? Would it go all the way back up to where we were? And this is my opinion, that we would quickly. You'll hear people talk about different prices. If they have a markup vote and they schedule it, they just schedule it because they have enough votes. Remember, Senator Scott wouldn't do that. And he just got his housing with Elizabeth Warren and Tim Scott co-wrote or co-sponsored a housing bill. You guys heard about this. It just passed the Senate today, yesterday. They have worked together. They don't hate each other. They are willing to work across the aisle to get something good done. Now, are they going to be willing to take that good working together to save crypto, to save retail, to save the industry? Or are they going to bow down to the pressures and the money of big banks? Senator Scott is trying to get it done. We know Elizabeth Warren is absolutely on the bank side. Is there enough between them to come to a compromise? We're not looking for the greatest bill ever. We're not going to get that. But we also don't want the worst bill ever. We are looking for compromise where everybody kind of walks out a little bad taste in their mouth, but we got clarity, and it's the best in the world. That's what we're looking for. Are we going to get it? You can guys let me know down in the comments below if you think we are. Put FF for financial freedom and where you're watching from. Here we go. Look what happened when we found out they were scheduling the markup vote. Money started moving ahead of time, and we got all the way up to 230 something. 230. Not even the dentistry can stop that one. 230. Down we go, back up we go. Hey, it's canceled. I think it was like the 12th right in here, right? And then boom, sell off. So we go, and my opinion is we'd end up right around here, 207. That's where I think if they announce a markup vote, that's where I think we jump. I actually think we get up to 207. But I'm not sure if we even going to get that. As you guys can see what's going on right now. Remember what I told you. I actually think we'll get up to 143 today. And the minute candles are going to be all over the place. But we'll see if we hit that. That's a resistance there. We're at 141.6 at the time of making this video. I'm expecting volatility, crazy volatility. But hopefully in a good way. We start short squeezing. Everybody, remember this. Just remember what you got here. You got a bottom here, a lot of them here, another one here, and a massive wash right here. So put it together technically. Let's talk shop because it is happening. So when you look at this and you say single bottom, double, triple, quadruple, and a blow off bottom, it broke the Bollinger Band. And the 50, we haven't touched the 50 in forever. There's profit taking to happen for the bears. So a good old-fashioned short squeeze could be happening very, very soon on any good news. The good news itself could be the war and is done. We don't know. And if that's the case, that's good news. If not, obviously we sit here and wait. If we start breaking, remember the 5 crossing 13, first one. Now are we going to go up and break right here, 143? If we confirm above 143, I will be blunt. I think we're going up to 151. And 151 has long been a line that I talked about that is very difficult to break. You break 151, which we have done basically one time, and we ran all the way up to 167. And that was right on that candle right there. Went zip, then down we came. So could that happen again? Absolutely. But we are watching right now for this to see if we get that juicy 143 is what I think we'll probably hit today. Normally, when we break back above that, we do see that. You can see right here. We get above the 13, we hit it. And I don't know. I like what I'm seeing so far. It's easier to make a video when I see this. Hopefully, by the time you're watching this video, it ain't red back down. That would just be soul crushing for the day. It's been trading in this zone forever. But if we start to break here, this is something where you would have a triple test and it finally breaks. Well, I'll even call it. Right here. It came down all the way up, hit it once, twice. Now let's get it up there the third time and break it and run. So that's one of the things I'm watching for. You know what got me excited right now? Look at this fear and greed index coming out for stocks. We're in extreme fear right now for stocks. Extreme fear. Everybody is just nervous. Oh, I don't know, Mo. It's crazy. I'm selling because the market's over. It's toast. Extreme fear. When should you buy? On extreme fear. When should you take profits? On extreme greed. If you follow that simple rule, you're going to do very, very, probably better than retail. Let's just say that. Now, crypto fear and greed. Oh, what do you got for me here? 28. We're starting to move up. See this? So down we are. Up we go. Down we are. Up. We're starting to get a little bit of buying. Still some fear, but we're off that extreme. And now, and look at these. Price 66,000. Where is Bitcoin right now? 70 roughly. Has to be close to 70. And look at this right here, right there. We want to move this thing up. So we'll see where it go. I'm feeling pretty good. So as long as we can keep this pumping and we can get up, well, I'm going to guess we're going to keep moving higher here, but we will see. So a lot of fear, extreme fear, put it together. Look at some of these numbers. Wow. The market is ripe. That coil has been suppressed, and we are ready for possibly a massive short squeeze. If we get a single spark of a catalyst that will burn the bears, we will be grilling up bear burgers. Now, in the comments, how do you like your bear burger?
Everybody holding
And
XRP.
I gotta tell you, there was a place that I used to go to called the Crippled Bear Inn, and it was they served bear burgers there. Great place, great burger, and I highly recommend it. I think they probably do. I haven't been there. Anybody ever hear of that place, the Crippled Bear Inn?
What is up, everyone? Welcome back. Happy Friday. That's right, Friday the 13th. Oh boy. You know what that means. Green in the markets. That's what it means. Check it out. Something massive just changed in the XRP story, and almost no one noticed. For years, the entire thesis around XRP, it was simple, right? Ripple replaces Swift. Banks adopt XRP. Cross-border payments explode. That was the bet. And if that happened, XRP holders would get rich. But here's the crazy part. That story, it was actually too small. Because while everyone was watching the entire Swift narrative unfold, banks, payment networks, and even Wall Street itself were quietly building something much bigger. Treasury systems, digital asset settlement, and tokenized markets. And once you see what the largest financial institutions on earth are actually building, you start to realize something shocking. XRP may be positioning itself inside the infrastructure of the next financial system. And if that's true, well, the real reason XRP could make people rich is not what most people think. Let's take a quick look at the markets. We do see some nice price action this morning. Bitcoin's coming in at 72,535. It's up 3%. ETH coming in at 2,131. It's up 2.87%. And XRP, yeah, buddy, it's coming in at $1.43, up 3.31%. So let me take you back for a second before we jump into this. 2017, when I entered crypto. XRP's exploding, crypto's booming, and everywhere you look, there's one word dominating the conversation: Swift. Swift was the villain, a 50-year-old banking messaging network that moves trillions of dollars across borders every day. Slow, expensive, super outdated, right? Ripple was supposed to replace it, and XRP, that would become the global bridge currency. It was a powerful story, but it turned out to be the wrong story. Not because XRP failed, but because the world found far bigger problems to solve. While retail investors were arguing about Swift, and they still are today, the financial system started quietly rebuilding itself. And the demand for instant liquidity networks, it suddenly exploded. Not from remittances, but from something much bigger. Corporate treasury. That's right. Let's get over to this. Brad Garlinghouse's recent tweet, because the big shift in crypto right now, not happening on Twitter. It's happening inside boardrooms, inside the office of the CFO. Think about what a corporate treasury department deals with every day. Vendor payments across dozens of countries, payroll in multiple currency, cash balances stuck in settlement windows for days, and billions of dollars are moving through these slow, fragmented banking rails. For decades, companies just accepted this as the cost of doing business. But something changed. Stablecoins matured. The Genius Act passed, which is about to start being integrated within the next couple of months. Clarity is coming. Your digital asset infrastructure, it became reliable. And suddenly, CFOs started asking a new question. Why are we still moving money like it's 1995? Digital asset rails offer something traditional banks never could. Instant settlement, 24/7 liquidity, programmable payments, and global interoperability. And networks designed for fast and cheap value transfer suddenly became incredibly interesting. Networks like the XRP ledger. This is why your conversation has shifted from will banks use XRP to something much bigger. What happens when corporations start running treasury operations on digital asset rails? And that's where the next signal appeared. The bank that could change everything. Now, folks, before we get over to that, if you have not signed up or looked into iTrust Capital, you need to do so. You want to talk about getting rich? Well, they got a nice, beautiful Roth IRA that you can set up. Tax-free earnings, tax-free withdrawals, no monthly fees. I covered the video yesterday. I think it's about $153 a week would max this thing out every single year. And over a period of 20 to 30 years, well, good night. Retirement in your future. If you don't want to do that, check out their institutional custody. The only way you're going to get institutional custody through the same vehicles that BlackRock is using, going through Fidelity Institutional and Coinbase Institutional. No monthly fees on any of these products. The only time you pay is when you cash out, and they're cheaper than the public exchange. Go give them a look. But let's jump over. DBS Bank. Now, if you don't know DBS, let me explain to you why this matters. This is one of the largest banks in Asia, hundreds of billions in assets. They have been named the world's best bank multiple times. This isn't some random crypto startup experimenting with blockchain. This is what we call institutional finance. And DBS, they've been working with Ripple to build blockchain infrastructure for cross-border settlement. But the goal isn't just faster payments. The goal is interconnected financial networks. We're talking different ledgers, different digital assets, different payment rails, all connected through interoperable infrastructure. That's exactly what Ripple has been building towards. Not just payments, but a financial network capable of moving any form of value across multiple systems instantly. And once banks begin thinking in terms of interconnected digital liquidity networks, your scale of opportunity, it becomes absolutely enormous. Because global financial settlement, they operate at numbers that most people can barely comprehend. Which brings us to a number that completely changes the story. I need you to focus on this right now. Pay attention. This number changes how you see XRP forever. Have you heard of CLS? It stands for Continuous Linked Settlement. This is the infrastructure banks use to settle foreign exchange trades globally. Major banks like JP Morgan, HSBC, and Deutsche Bank, they use it every single day. And its annual settlement volume, 1.5 quadrillion. That's massive, folks. That is $1,500 trillion moving through a single settlement system every year. Now, I want you to compare that to Ripple's institutional settlement platform. Ripple Prime processes roughly 3 trillion annually, which means that CLS currently processes over 500 times more volume. But here's your important part. CLS didn't start as a quadrillion-dollar system. It started as infrastructure solving a single problem: settlement risk in your FX markets. Over time, every bank connected to it Now imagine digital assets needing their own institutional settlement layer, because right now that layer doesn't exist yet. And Ripple Prime is positioning itself to become exactly that. If digital assets begin settling at anything close to traditional financial volumes, liquidity networks, they become the most important part of the system. And that is exactly what XRP was designed to do. But the signals don't stop with banks, because the payment giants, they're moving as well. MasterCard just announced this the other day, a complete digital asset ecosystem. Through its crypto partner program, MasterCard is connecting financial infrastructure providers, payment networks, and crypto platforms together. And recently, they added Modern Treasury to that ecosystem. Why does that matter? It's simple. Modern Treasury builds financial operations infrastructure. The back-end system companies use to move money. We're talking vendor payments, treasury automation, liquidity management. Now, I want you to combine that with MasterCard's global network. Over 3 billion cards worldwide. Millions of merchants with a 95% global reach. Suddenly, you have something powerful. A bridge between traditional finance and digital asset rails. Fiat to crypto, crypto to fiat, integrated directly into global payment infrastructure. And that's how your real adoption actually happens. Not through hype, but through infrastructure. But the biggest signal yet, it's coming from somewhere even bigger than just payments. We're talking capital markets. We're talking the DTCC, the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation. They process the majority of security transactions in the US. I mean, we're talking stocks, bonds, derivatives, trillions of dollars every single year. They are essentially the backbone of Wall Street settlement. And they just announced something huge. The DTCC, they plan to tokenize their platform in the second half of this year. Second half starts in less than 4 months. I mean, we're talking about tokenized assets, stocks and bonds, all on blockchain infrastructure. But here's where it gets interesting. A DTCC patent describing cross-ledger liquidity frameworks references 2 digital assets, 2 as your liquidity tokens, XLM and XRP. In other words, different tokenized asset networks may require liquidity bridges between them. If global markets move towards tokenized infrastructure, liquidity networks become the critical layer connecting everything. And that's exactly the role XRP was designed for. Which brings the entire circle, because they have never been replacing SWIFT. It may have always been something much bigger. We got corporate CFOs exploring digital asset rails for treasury operations. DBS Bank is building blockchain infrastructure with Ripple. You got Ripple Prime, who is targeting institutional settlement markets, which are measured in the quadrillions, all as MasterCard is wiring fiat to crypto flows into global payment infrastructure. And at the same time, you just got the announcement and the patent that the DTCC is preparing to tokenize the financial markets. All of this is pointing in the same direction. A new financial architecture built on digital infrastructure. And if that system continues developing the way current signals suggest, well, your assets that were designed to provide liquidity between networks, they're going to become incredibly important. So folks, as we go through price and as we get distracted and as we get disappointed, you should have no fear. You should be licking your lips at the value that is currently out there right now. The biggest mistake that is focusing on headlines. Real financial revolutions, they don't happen overnight. Infrastructure gets built first, standards emerge slowly, institutions integrate quietly, and then suddenly
the system changes all at once. Right now, we may be watching the early stages of a completely new financial architecture, digital assets, tokenized markets, interconnected liquidity network. And if that system continues to evolve, your assets designed to power liquidity between networks could become extremely valuable, not because of hype, but because infrastructure always wins. And if infrastructure is going to win, and infrastructure is usually built long before the world realizes it already exists, we're never going to see prices like this again. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'll see all y'all a little bit late today, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Enjoy your Friday. I'll talk to you all soon.
So, as always, think we can sum it up. Prices are moving. Like, this reminds us of how quickly the crypto market can shift. Whether this becomes a sustained rally or just a short term momentum will depend on several factors, including market sentiment, adoption, and broader economic conditions. If you enjoyed this update and want more XRP if you're enjoying this update and want more XRP news, crypto analysis, trying to find my okay, I'm tripping. My X thing. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you for the next update. And as always, let's get back to the money and stay dangerous. It's your main man BTM signing out. And thanks for joining, and be safe out there on this Friday the 13th. And stay tuned. Probably gonna do a Zebek stream right now. So signing out, and peace out. Miners out. Thanks for joining.